Hello guys, welcome to this video. So in our previous video, we have created our Jenkins server using our EC2 instance. So in this video we are going to see how to create our ECS cluster using our EC2 instance. So in our previous videos, we have seen our creation of ECS cluster using a target type. So now we are going to create with our EC2 type. So now let's go to our ECS and click on task definitions. You can create new task interpretation. So here we have selected a target type. So now we can go with the EC2 and click on next. So here we can give a task definition name as my task one or my task, and we can select the role, and we can select the task execution role, and we can we don't need to specify any task memory or task CPU. So now let's leave it as empty and click on add container. So in this container name, we need to specify our ECR container. So let's go to our ECR repository. So in our ECR repository, I have already created my repository, and in that also I have pushed my service image. So let's copy this image URL and paste it here. And in container name, we can give our container name as my repo, and let's select our soft limit with minimum of 300 MB. And here we need to select our host port and container port. So in our project, let's see open our project. So in our project has been running in port of 2173. So you can do the same here. The port should be 2173, and internet container also we are going to run with 2173. So now click on add and click on create. So our task definition has been created now. So now let's go to our cluster. So let's create one cluster. So here we need to select EC2 Linux. So click on next, and we can name our cluster. And here we can select our EC2 instance type as T2 micro. And the number of instance is we're going to select as 1. And we can select our key pair so that we can connect our EC2 instance using our EC2 instance connect also. Or else if you have putty means by the way also you can connect that one. So and then we are going to select our default VPC, and here can select our all the three subnet regions. No need to give any security group. We can go with our default one, and then click on create. So in service level, we can create a new security groups. So for our cluster, we no need to give anything, so that we are skip that one. So now let's see our cluster. So now our cluster has been activated. Now let's go to our instance. So here we can see our ECS instance. Now it is in pending state. So meanwhile we can create our service. So click on create. Here we need to select the launch type as EC2, and we can name our service as my service. And we are going to run only one task, so that our minimum healthy percentage will be 0 and maximum percentage will be 100. And we click on next. So here we can click on our application load balancer, and we need to click on add to load balancer. Here we need to select our ALB port. So if you go to our ALB, I have already created one application load balancer. So here we have our application load balancers. So let's use the same, and we can create our target group as my service TT, and here we can specify our path pattern as my service 1 with evaluation order 1, and we can give a health check path also my service 1. So click on next. So now our service has been creating now. So let's wait for a while. So let's view the service. So here our service in pending state. So let's wait for a while. So now our service is in running state. So let's go to our task. So if we go inside this, we can't see any the public IP or private IP. So now we need to access our EC2 instance IPs. So let's go to our EC2 instance. So instead of using our service IP, we are going to use our EC2 IP itself. So let's copy it here, and we need to provide us 2173 slash my service hyphen 1. So here we can see our response now, and we can use our ALB also. So let's go to our ALB. Let's copy this one. So using ALB also our service is running. So now let's go to our Jenkins. So here we need to specify our Git repository, and we need to specify a script path. So let's open our project. So this is a route. So in this route, in the project folder, we have a Jenkins file. So let's use this. So at last, I will explain what are these commands. So now let's copy our repository URL. So this is our Git repo URL, and go to our Jenkins, and we need to click on configure. So here we need to select our build trigger as poll SCM, and for every minute we need to check our commit is came or not. So that we are giving 5 asterisk symbol. So it will check for every minute now, and we need to click on pipeline. Under this pipeline, we need to click on pipeline script from SCM. So under that we can click on Git. So here we need to paste our URL. So let's paste here, and no need any credentials since my repo is in a public repository. So if your repository is in a private one, you can click on add credentials. After that, adding your credentials, it will be displayed in this drop down. So after that, we need to specify a branch, and so that my branch is a main branch. So let's name it as main. And here we need to specify a script path. So in our project, our Jenkins file is under a deployment folder, so we need to add deployment. So that's it, and you can save. So initially the build has been triggered now, so now let's open this one. So here we have our consoles. So as I said, it is taking a checkout from our Git repository, and it will try to build an image. So it is now building our Docker image, and now it is logging with our ECR repo, and after authenticating, it is pushing our image to our ECR repo. After that, it is clearing all the details from our Jenkins server. So now we can see our build has been success. So now let's go to our URL, and now we can see that we have received our 503 error because our new commit has been pushed to our ECR repo. So that a new task definition has been created in our ECS cluster, so that our previous task will be in stop state. So until unless our new task has been initiated, our health check path will be checking for our given like my service hyphen one. So if it returns 200 response, then our response will be shown here. So now let's go to our load balancer. So let's click on target group. So here we can see our my service TG. So under this, our old register target is in draining state. So it's taking much time so that we can click on attributes and we can reduce that deregistration delay time. So let's click on edit. So here we can specify as some 5 seconds. So let's click on save. So now our previous register target has been drained now. So it is initialing new targets. So let's refresh once. So now we can see our target group is in healthy state. So if we go to our ALB URL and refresh means we can see our server response. So this is why the lag happens when our new commit has been pushed to our Git repo, so that our previous service will be in stop status and it is trying to trigger a new service. So until that we can see this delay. So let's go to our route file and here we can change the response as my service IAM service TWO. So now let's save this and we can push this one. So now we have pushed our code and let's go to our Jenkins. So let's wait for a while. So here the build starts at 5.9. So let's wait for a while. So now we can see our third build has been triggered now. So let's see the console. So all our stages has been running now. So our pipeline has been success now. So let's go to our target group and let's check whether our target group is healthy or not. So now it's in initialing. So our previous register target has been drained successfully, and it is initialing a new target. So now it's also went to our healthy status. So now let's refresh this URL. So here we can see our changes. So this is how we need to set up our pipeline. So it's very easy to make our CI/CD pipeline using our Jenkins server. So so this is our Jenkins file. So in this Jenkins file, we have some set of environment variables and we have the some set of stages. So I'll explain one by one. So our first environment is assigning some variables like AWS CRUD ID, AWS ECR region, these things and all. So we know that the AWS CRUD ID is nothing but our AWS CRUDs. We can see in our Jenkins. So if you go to our Jenkins, here we can see our credential ID. So we are going to use this here also, and our ECR region, and we need to specify a cluster name and service name and task definition name. And at last, we need to specify our ECR repo URI. And after that, we are inside our environment variable stage. We're going to assign some values called commit ID, commit message, and who has committed this code. And we are for our image build, we are going to specify our image tag and our image name. So our image tag is an branch name with build number. So this build number is a variable which is defaultly given by our Jenkins pipeline. So in this automatically the value will be pre-populated. So and then we are giving printing our image tag. After that, our image name will be our ECR repo URI colon with our image tag, and next stage is our build stage. So after that we are going to push that ECR Docker image to our ECR repo. For that we need to log in. After that we need to push that image. So this is the this is happen in the through line. And after that, after pushing our ECR image to our ECR, sorry, Docker image to our ECR repo, we no need any images to be stored in our Jenkins server, so that we are removing our all our Jenkins sorry Docker files. And here, the next stage is our ECS deploy stage. So under this stage, we are going to deploy our Docker image to our ECS repo, so that we are using our AWS credentials. And under this, we can see some set of commands. So in this command, we are going to remodify our task definition JSON. So when we go to our ECS, here we can see our task definition JSON. So in this task definition, we need to update our image name, and then so if you see here means, so just we are updating our image name in this task definition, and also we are deleting some of the keys like task definition AR and revision ID. So like that and all we are removing. So let's see one by one. So initially we are getting our old task definition, and we are getting all the list of tasks, and we are in that array of tasks, we are getting our old task ID, which is nothing but our previous task ID. So our previous task ID will be my task colon 102. So this value will be stored in our old task ID, and after that we are commanding our ECS cluster to stop our current task, so that we are in this using our AWS CLI command, we are going to stop our current task. So for that we need to give our cluster name and old task ID, and also we need to give the region. So next, we need to create a new task definition with our latest image, so that we are inside our task definition key. We are going to update our image key value as our current image name. So we are here. We have our image value. So here we are passing our image value as an argument, and inside this command we are replacing that previous image with the current image. And as I said, we are going to delete some keys in the object, so that we are using jq delete. So this deletes the keys present inside our JSON file. And after that, we in this variable we have our latest task definition. So after that, we are getting our new task info, like so we are passing this new task definition as here. So we are going to register a task definition, so that we are passing this variable, and after that it will return a response with a new task info. So it is nothing but also a JSON file. So here we need to give our new task revision. So from this JSON we are fetching the revision ID. So if we go to our task definition means, we can see our revision ID. So here we have a revision. So this is a 102 number which will be present here. So the same number we need to give in our update service command. So here we can see our uh, we are passing our cluster, and inside the cluster we are passing our task definition, and here we need to specify a revision ID. So as I said, so the revision ID will be 102. So after that, if you are committing a new changes means, the revision ID will be 103, so that our task definition name will be as my task colon 103. So after updating our service, our new code will be reflected in our ALB response. So this is how we need to post our, we need to configure our CI/CD setup. So hope you have learned a lot in this video. So in next video we can see about how to add Nginx proxy service. So in our previous video also we have seen that. So in next video we can add this, add our Nginx proxy service, and also we can post one more service in this CI/CD setup. So thank you guys. So we can see in next video.